Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Sarah and I'm gonna give you a big update today. Noelle was reading in my room because it's quieter in here and she had some reading she had to get done. I think she said she just finished, so that's good. We won't hear words being sounded out right now, but it's so cute when they learn to read. I love it. Today I want to talk to you about No Spend January. We did a month this month. If you've been around here, you've heard me talk about it probably, but we just tried to spend as little money as possible. So we only paid our bills and did our regular giving and really just did the bare minimum in groceries. And let me report that although it was a birthday month for us with 3 birthdays, we still saved a lot of money. I can't give you exact figures, but when I think about the money we normally spend that we did not spend, we know it's significant and it was very helpful. We have a lot of things going on this year. You know, I saw some comments, why do you need to do no spend in January? You don't look like you're suffering or anything. You know, we are people that like to budget and be careful where our money goes, and she was referring to how we have 2 homes right now. We literally don't want to have 2 homes when one of them's not making us money for long. And we're trying to build a house this year. We also really would like to take our kids back to Kenya this year. I'm not quite sure how that's gonna happen. It'll be 4 years, I think, in June since we've taken the whole family back, and we like to do it as often as possible. My husband's from Kenya, so a lot of our family is there, and I always try to think of it, because we're in my home country, I always try to think of, if we were not in my home country, how burdened would I be about getting back, connecting to home, and having my kids connect to home. I know I can't totally put myself in that place, but I really do try to think like that on Solo's behalf. And I love Kenya. I actually miss it a lot. I want to go back. Solo was able to go this last year with some of our teenagers when his grandma passed away, but I didn't. And yeah, it's just time. He really wants to go back, and so many of our other kids want to go back. So not sure how it'll happen, because we are building a house this year, but we just have a lot of things coming. And you know, there's a lot of things that we have learned in this No Spend January, and that's what I want to talk to you about in this video. Some of those things we learned are actually making us make some changes in the year 2023. Before I get into it, I know I have a lot of you who are always interested in food, so let me show you what went down here last night. Today we're making smash burgers. I had a craving for hamburgers, cheeseburgers to be specific. So I've got a bunch more to go. Over here I made buns today, 24 of them, so I'm making 24 burgers. These are done. I'm doing batches of 4. Yeah, and they're looking nice. Good cheeseburgers here. Plus some veggies in there. And I spent the day rendering lard, which I've never done before. I think it's just about ready. So that is pork fat that I'm gonna make into our own like oil. Instead of coconut oil, when I'm cooking on high heat, I can use the lard, also kind of like shortening too, I think. I'm hoping, we'll see. We have 2 trays of these, so we'll have leftovers. Leftovers are always good. First of all, I just ate a leftover cheeseburger today for lunch, and it was so good. I'm so glad I put the time and effort into making those yesterday. No Spend January has made us think outside the box. Where we would normally order pizza, we're making pizzas now, and when I wanted a cheeseburger, I had to make my own. And everybody benefited, it was good. But the lard, I wanted to give you an update. Because I put the jar tops on when it was hot, they sealed basically, like as if I had canned them. Probably not the same, but it feels the same right now. So I won't open it all the way, but it's not liquid anymore at all, it's a solid. And I did open one of them because I used some this morning when I made some more bread. So it'll be really interesting to see if that turns out. I was gonna ask you guys first, but if I could use this to make bread, but then it was just sitting there and I was making bread. I thought, well, what better way to find out? Unfortunately, I did run out of one of my other bread ingredients today, sunflower lecithin. And I usually put that in, and you can replace it with an egg. I never have before. So not only did I use lard instead of the coconut oil that I normally do, I also replaced another ingredient. So if it doesn't turn out well, I'm not sure what I'll be able to blame it on. But yeah, it's great to have all of the stuff that would normally have been thrown away from the pig that we bought. I was talking to Solo last night, and he told me we paid $1 a pound for this, and it was either 18 or 20 pounds. He couldn't remember quite. So I got over 6 I'm rendering more right now, so it was about half of what I did yesterday. So I figured I got between 6 and 7 quarts, almost 7 actually, full quarts of this lard out of what I cooked up. And it costs us $18 to $20. When I compare it to what I get by the ounce in coconut oil, which is what we would mostly use it in replacement of, I believe. It's good for high heat, sauteing vegetables, frying things, that kind of stuff. And that's where we use our coconut oil compared to the olive oil because of the high heat resistance. So when I compare it, it's about 1/3 of the price of the coconut oil. So that's good. The other huge benefit, besides it being 1/3 the price, is that we're using more of the animal. So that's definitely our goal when we buy the whole pig from the farmer. We know the farmers that we're buying from. We know the pigs have had a good life, and we also are using more of the whole pig, which is to me much more respectful of that pig that gave its life for our dinners and breakfasts. So that's another benefit. I think in the future we would love to have pigs on our property and butcher our own pigs, and this is just another way to learn how to use all of it. So, and then the sour cream is something else I learned this month. I just used a method of taking some heavy cream and putting in a big scoop of live cultured yogurt. I just used my homemade yogurt that was not sweetened in it, and it sat at like 110 degrees for 12 hours and then in the fridge for 12 hours. It turned out good in that it tasted exactly like sour cream from the store, only better, if that makes sense. It's made with our raw milk and it just tasted better. It was very good, but it never got very thick. So I'm not sure if it's because I took the cream off the top of the milk and didn't just use like, it wasn't heavy enough cream maybe. So tonight I'm driving out to get milk once again, and I've asked the farmer to set aside some heavy or light cream, but just some quarts of just cream. So I think that will be interesting. I'm excited to try sour cream again and see if I can get it even better this time. So now let's talk about money. So far this month, we have spent $279 about in essential groceries. We did buy some groceries that were just for the birthdays, and we even had a birthday party this month. We didn't count that. We just took that out of our birthday budget. But in our groceries, we decided that milk, eggs, raw milk, eggs, and then raw milk I say because you can also make cheese and butter out of it, and sour cream obviously. And then fresh fruits and vegetables is what we were going to consider the essentials, and try not to do like go overboard on the fresh fruits and vegetables. Try to use up some of the stuff in our freezers as far as frozen fruits and vegetables. So we're at $279 tonight. I will buy milk and cream. The cream is a lot more expensive. I think like $12 to $15 for a quart. So I will be just over $400. Our raw milk runs, usually where we get our eggs to, usually run us up around $100. This time it will be a little more, but normally we only do it 2 times a month, but this month how it fell, we ended up needing it 3 times in the month. So that's even why it's just over $400. Otherwise it would have been less than that. Our normal grocery budget for our family of 13, and I do say 13 because Judah eats out of our food a lot and he's home a lot, is $1,500 a month. And that includes all our, you know, personal care items, paper supplies. So we have definitely saved a lot of money just when you look at groceries alone. Also, we did not eat out at all. There are times we definitely eat out as a family. We tend to eat out pretty cheaply, but like I said, we learned how to make our own cheeseburgers. Not learned, we know now, but we made ourselves make our own cheeseburgers. We made our own pizzas, and the other day, I think I filmed it, it was a couple weeks ago, we made a big pot of chalupa, which was pulled pork with beans in it, and we used that for burritos, and Solo kept saying, this is Chipotle quality food here. So we even ended up making our own Chipotle bowls. There's been a lot of good food happening around here, and it's all coming out of our own kitchen. So that's a benefit too. Imagine how much money we've saved eating out. So that's usually something we budget like $200 to $300 depending on the season we're in for eating out for our large family. As you can imagine, when we go out one time, it can be close to $100, and we try to pinch every penny, but we don't go to McDonald's anymore. So it's just hard to eat real cheap. And yeah, we have to get creative. So there's other money saved there. I noticed that Amazon's just become too easy. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but it's just so easy to say, oh, I need this item. Let me just buy it right now. And then it shows up at your door in 2 days. It is really just too convenient. And it's something that of course, I never used to do because it wasn't available. Even as it became available, I didn't do it for a long time. And now that I do it, use it, like just that swipe to buy feature, you know, it happens a lot, I think. And so this month has been very good for me in that regard. I noticed that I have put some things in my cart, but I haven't checked out things that I feel like I need. One of my kids has a lot of Holy jeans, so I've picked out some jeans and leggings for her, and they're sitting in the cart, and on February 1st, I will put in a big order. But there were several things that were in the cart that I realized later, oh, I don't really need that, or I found a solution around that. And so one of the things was computer ink, and a bunch of you told me I can get it cheaper a different way. So I took that out of my cart. Yeah, it's been a number of things. And now I see the whole total of everything that I'm going to purchase on February 1st. And I think that's also very good, because sometimes when you're buying little items, you don't notice. I was going to buy 4 sheets, but when I was taking care of washing all the bedding from our farmhouse, I realized we had a couple extra there. So now I'm only buying 2. Just things like that. And it's so good to see the whole total of everything that you're going to buy. So I think for the most part, I'm going to try to continue that into all the rest of 2023. Is just not spending on Amazon, because Amazon is, you know, convenient, and I get great things from there, and it's so helpful. But I do think I'm going to make a habit of just putting things in my cart, and at the end of the month, checking out, so I see exactly what I am going to spend at Amazon. It really helps with the budget and just knowing exactly where you're at. So just the same way I keep track of it as I'm going through the grocery stores, or when I'm doing an online grocery order, now I can see everything I'm buying and really think, do I want to spend that much? Okay, maybe I want to take a couple things out of there, or I figured out I don't need that. It's also always good to wait a little bit. Think with those little purchases, it's easy to say, I don't need to wait for this. It's just $4, $6, whatever. But it is good to wait sometimes, because you realize maybe you don't need that item. So for me, that's been a very helpful tool. But let's talk about groceries. I have mentioned before that I would love to, I shop most of my food once a month. I would love to shop even less than that. I'm very inspired by people who do that, who stock up all at once a year, once every 6 months. I don't see that I'm ready for that at all, but I noticed in this no spend month that, for one, it showed us what areas we need to stock up more on. Like I mentioned, my bread making, that was the biggest only 2 ingredients we noticed that we did not have enough of. The lecithin that we use for our bread that we ran out of, very surprising. I thought I had several extra, and I had no extra. So I realized I wasn't keeping very good track of that one item. And then also our white flour, which we don't keep a lot of that because at the farm we don't have our wonderful grain mill that we love. I try to get some flour from our freezer out there, but the other day Judah was trying to make something and there was no flour, we figured out. So doing a challenge like this helps you realize where the holes are. So I think that's really good. It's also helped us, like the pantry and freezer challenges I've always done, it helps us to eat out of things that we didn't realize we even had anymore. I found some frozen tortillas in the freezer when we were eating out of it and cleaning it out more, and different items like that we've been able to make sure we eat before they go bad or just get lost in the abyss of being buried in the freezer. So that's been really good. But what I have talked to Solo about, and I would have filmed this with him, but he's been so busy lately, is that I think it would be great to do this with our groceries every other month, where we're just buying bare minimum on the opposite months, and then we stock up on the months that we're spending. So we could do that by doing a big Sam's Club order like we normally do in February, and really looking at all our canned goods and everything that we would get from Sam's that we store up on, and making sure we're getting all of that and everything's stocked up. And as your standard, where we get our grains and honey and all those things, making sure we're fully stocked up, our cheese, our main cheese that we eat, and cream cheese. And then on the opposite month, the next one in March, not spending again and just doing bare minimum of milk and eggs and some fresh fruits and vegetables. I think that would be a really good way for us to transition into shopping even less. Shopping less does help us save money in and of itself, because the more times you're in the store, the more likely you are to spend money on things that you didn't plan to buy. And that's just a reality of things. But there are a few of you out there that are not like that, but most of us will spend money we didn't intend to spend when we walk through a store. I think that's gonna be something we'll challenge ourselves to do, and Solo thought we could definitely do that. I wanted to do it with eating out, and he agreed right away. So I was like, well, we'll see what he thinks about that. It's good, it's really good for us. So I think we're gonna try both of those things. So in February, we will have a big grocery haul. I just put in my Azure standard order today, and I'm stocking up on a bunch of things. And instead of thinking about what we need for this month, I'm thinking about what we definitely need, or we could run out of next month as well, because next month in March, we're gonna go back to the bare minimum. So I think it'll be interesting to see how it changes how much money we spend all year round. Obviously February, we may end up needing to spend quite a bit more, but I don't think it'll be 2 months worth more. I really don't. So I'll keep you informed of that and let you know how it's going. It's definitely a big challenge for us, but it's good to stretch ourselves in things. We like to stretch ourselves, and it also reminds us that we could be producing some of this stuff. So in our off months, maybe we could be producing some of it ourselves. Wouldn't that be great? I'm sitting here drinking a LaCroix. It's not that good. Ugh, LaCroix. Because it's what I had. I have been off of Diet Coke now for, I don't know, like 12 days. Although Luka brought me home one with his own money a few days ago, just like a small one, because he got Chick-fil-A and didn't want the soda. Our kids have spent their own money on things. They have not done a no-spend challenge, but that's okay. They go out with their friends a lot on Sundays after church, things like that. Yeah, this doesn't quite cut it, but I have not missed Diet Coke nearly as much as I thought. I've been drinking iced tea in the morning. I have about 2 cups of it. I make a cup of Kenyan tea. It's a nice strong black tea. And I put a scoop of Ultima in it, which is like an electrolyte. It's an electrolyte drink mix, and I really like it. I like the watermelon flavor and the cherry pomegranate, I think. And so I'll do that twice in the morning, and I think it's probably not as much caffeine as I was drinking. I'm not sure how it adds up, but I haven't felt too much more tired because of it. But just, there's been about, besides the first 2 days I didn't have Diet Coke, there has been, I think, 1 or 2 other days since then that I just really, and both days I was very, very tired, but I was just missing Diet Coke. I missed the fizz part. That's the LaCroix. I really like cold fizz in the morning, apparently. So enough about that. I am surviving just fine without it. Maybe on our no-spend months, I will just keep not drinking it, or maybe I'll never go back, but probably not. A lot of people have asked me over the last year especially, there were 2 videos where we showed our grocery budget and we were definitely over budget. And they asked, what do you do about that? Like, obviously, someone said, obviously you can afford to go over budget. Let me tell you, when I could not afford to go over budget, I only had this much to spend. I always, always, always walked through the store with a calculator. That's how I did it. That's how my mom did it. I used to be calculator girl. I would walk by her while she was putting food in, and she'd tell me how much to keep adding up, and heaven help you if you hit the wrong button and you're calculator girl. But that's just the way I grew up, knowing how to do it. Like, when you cannot go over the budget, you don't go over the budget. I do love grocery pickups for this reason, is you see your whole total as you're going. Actually, I love Sam's Club. I still see that because I'm doing the scan and go. So I'm actually scanning my own groceries with my phone as I walk through the store. You avoid the checkout aisle. It's awesome. And you see your total as you're going. So those times that I have, one of them that I went way over, I was at Costco. I did not have scan and go. I don't like that about Costco. I had a feeling we were gonna go way over. And I would say a lot of the groceries were more expensive of what we bought there. Not everything maybe, but what we were buying. The way we do our budget, we really just have some goals of where we want to keep our spending. We have flexibility right now in this season of our life, but we have not in the past. That's when we were calculator people for sure. Now, if we go over, there's always months in the year where we've gone way under, so that helps offset the times that we go over. We get a lot of cash back from our Sam's card that we use and pay off every month and different things like that. So I've also been asked that about the meat we buy. Usually the meat will fit into our general overall budget of $1,500 a month. Just because there's so many months that we don't spend all of that. And then we have at least one full month worth of groceries that we get totally free, $1,500 worth easily because of our Sam's card. We put all of our big purchases on it. We use it for our gas and our groceries, and because of the cashback feature. So that really helps us when it comes to buying the meat too. And the meat doesn't fit fully in there, and we actually do budget separately for that, but there are so many times throughout the year that we are saving money on groceries and not spending it all. Now, of course, we have noticed the price increases just like everybody else, and it's been harder. It has definitely been harder. And I think the best advice I could give someone that has a very tight budget and cannot go over even a penny is you got to add it up as you go. Either do online orders or take that calculator with you. But if you have to stay in the budget, you have to stay in the budget, and you got to be careful what you buy. I do believe that staying out of the stores helps with that tremendously. So the more you can plan ahead and get it all at once, stock up when you see sales, and you have the budget to stock up, those things go a long, long way. We have not eaten badly at all this last month. January has actually been great, and I realize our storage, what we're storing for food, is working out so well for us. I'm really happy with it. So the same goes for our Amazon subscribe and save orders. We're putting it on for February, and we're gonna take it off again in March, and we're just gonna keep going that way for a while and see how things go. So I'll keep you guys informed as we go throughout the year, and let you know if it's really saving us a lot of money to do things this way. I have a feeling it will save us a lot of money, because I don't think it will cost me $3,000 in groceries in February. But we do have a grocery haul coming up soon, and I will definitely show you what we got. Guys, there's one thing I totally forgot to tell you. I'm the only one in this family running out of things that are necessary items, apparently. It's not that necessary, but I did run out of my foundation. I had no idea it was even close. I don't wear foundation or most of my makeup besides like mascara and fill in my eyebrows a little bit for 6 whole months of the year. So I only wear it in the winter, because once I have some sun on my face, I'm like, whatever, my face needs a break. But in the winter, I really need it. And so my husband's like, this is a necessary item, just go buy more. It wasn't in a bad way. He was just joking. And I'm like, no, I'm stubborn. I am not buying more. So I happened to find, I was like using a cover up, like the, what do you call it? Where you put it on just spots, not actual foundation, just cover up, I guess, whatever, a little bit. And then I found buried away some makeup that I use once in a while in the summer when my face is darker. So it's a darker shade. And so I put that on. I thought I would look crazy ridiculous, but it actually isn't that bad. I think I might go to this darker color. I don't know, maybe you guys will notice. So if I look a little Oompa Loompa-ish, is because I'm not buying makeup until February 1st. Yay for using up makeup items or whatever items. That's always good. Maybe I would have forgotten I had that old tube of darker stuff, and now it's getting used and getting used well. So thank you guys for sticking around on this journey, this no spend January journey. I have heard from so many of you that are doing it with us, so that's so fun. I feel like we're not alone. Guys, we will talk to you again in the next video. Bye.